You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, isn't it?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities, Tuesday, May 12th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube live, we appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP. It helps us out a ton. Make sure you're interactive. There's a great chat going on YouTube right now. Our everydayers are there chatting away already. And of course, if you have a question for any of our guests today, a complaint about me, which I'm used to, just hop in, let us know as well. We're live on X. X has been very, very good to us as well. Stay interactive with us on there as well. We are available on all the podcasting platforms as well. I tell you guys this almost every day. It's much easier to listen to the show than to look at me for 2 hours. So get your audio form wherever you get your podcasts. Go to Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, wherever. Apple, put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Listen to the show each and every day. Go back to listen to other shows as well. And also, welcome to our viewers in Central Iowa. We are on the WHO streaming app each and every evening as well. Thank you for you guys, and your feedback as well has been great as well. Yesterday had a lot of fun. If you missed yesterday's show, we talked about a really cool Project Slow Miles that a couple from the Cedar Rapids Gazette are doing. Maddie Heritzik and Jeff Linder. In honor of one of their photographers, Jim, who's battling brain cancer. So we talked about that. Also got great insight on Iowa athletics with those two. Women's basketball, Iowa football as well. So go check that out. Pat Rangel, the new coach at Alleman for the boys basketball program, also on yesterday as well. Check out that episode. Excited about that one. Really excited about what we have coming up in just a little bit. In a matter of moments, we'll be joined by Zach Johnson. Yeah, the Zach Johnson, JDC legend, former winner back in 2012, 12-time winner on the PGA Tour. I can go on and on about Zach, and we'll talk golf, I promise. 50 days from right now is the JDC, so we'll talk plenty of golf. But if you know Zach loves the Hawkeyes. And so we will be getting his expert analysis of what's going on with Iowa athletics as well, which is exciting. So Zach Johnson coming up in just a matter of moments. Also on today's show, Scott Morel, former Alleman boys basketball coach, now the new girls basketball coach at Moline, will join us coming up a little bit later on the show as well. We also got a lot to talk about with NFL schedules later in the show. Ben McCollum got a much-deserved contract extension, and the NBA Combine is going on right now. In fact, our good friend Tom Kakert is on the way to the Combine right now. I believe Bennett Sturts is available to the media tomorrow. So we'll try to catch up with Tommy. We did a podcast last night, so if you're a Hawkeye fan, you should always be checking out the Hawkeye Report podcast as well. So we'll have some information from Tom Kakert coming up later this week as well. Also later this week, Tate Sage from the Iowa basketball program will join us. And I'm excited. Matt Weitzel will join us as well. Big Whites is one of the best people you'll ever meet. Sports information director at Iowa. And he's been around so many great things. And their staff and their sports information department, hands down the best in the business. They were actually honored as one of the Super 11 this past season because they're really good at what they do. And they help me out a lot. So we'll talk with Matt Weitzel coming up later this week as well. But as for now, I mentioned it's 50 days till today from the John Deere Classic, and really excited he allegedly listens to the show every once in a while. The Zach Johnson joins us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thank you for slumming it with me today, buddy. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Long-time listener.
Don't do that.
Honored to finally be on your amazing Off the Air, Randazzo.
I love it.
I'm honored. This is great.
I appreciate it, man. We joked earlier. I mean, we could talk Iowa athletics for a while. We'll do that. And I know people want us to do that, but it is 50 days to the John Deere Classic. A lot to catch up golf-wise with you. Champions Tour, which Andrew was on last week, and I said Senior Tour, and he ripped me. And he's like, wait till I report back to Zach that you said Seniors Tour. So Champions Tour. I want to start with golf. 50 days till the John Deere Classic. I know it's a place we've appreciated everything you've given us. I know that you appreciate everything the John Deere Classic has done for you. To hear 50 days from that event, what does it mean and how exciting is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it feels like I was just there. However, I'm excited. I mean, it is a massive highlight on my work calendar every year, number one. Number two, yeah, you kind of alluded to it. I mean, I have an affinity for that tournament and certainly that community more than most people probably actually know. I mean, technically, I lived in Davenport. I was like one, so I don't really remember that.
It
But
counts.
my dad's a Palmer graduate. So and then fast forward, obviously a young pro trying to make his way, and the John Deere Classic extended me a couple sponsor exemptions, kind of around the turn of the century, if I'm not mistaken. Just to compete, and I didn't have status. So and then again, fast forward further, and now I'm still a John Deere Classic board seat, of some sort. I mean, I help out as best I can. When Andrew Lehman says, "Hey, we need you to come on," I try to get on there every time, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, I love what that tournament does. I love why they do what they do, which is, the big thing, supporting the Quad City community in so many different ways with so many different avenues. That's really what that tournament's about. But then you're also there to showcase great golf, great entertainment on a phenomenal golf course, and a lot of entertainment going on that week. I mean, for the listener, and obviously my peers would say the same thing. I mean, knowing what I know now, because I am old, it's 1 week. However, it's the 51 weeks leading up to it that has all the work. And so, Andrew Lehman, certainly Mara at John Deere, and everybody there, they just do an amazing job trying to make the next year even better than the previous. So I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, you mentioned those sponsor exemptions. It makes me feel old because I think it was my first year at WQAD where Dan Birch actually let me do things where the Zach Attack shirts were out there, and you had and that was my first feature story. Was they're like, Dazzo, you like Iowa? Zach Johnson's a Hawkeye boy. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And that was one of my first feature stories, and that seems like it wasn't that long ago, Zach, but it was. Talk about like you growing up and the tournament growing up as well. I mean, because so much has changed since the Zach Attack made its way to the John Deere Classic, and now here we are, and we'll talk about the Senior Tour here in a little. The Champions Tour. I'm going to get in trouble again.
All right.
The Champions Tour, all those kind of things. In a minute, but you've grown up with this event, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been obviously a part of the fabric of my professional golf. I mean, so many different reasons and elements are intertwined in that. I mean, I can think of, again, I mean, I'm playing the mini tours, and, I get a phone call. Back then it was actually Kim Huffam, just prior to Claire Peterson, right? The first one was Kim, and he's like, "Hey, you're a Cedar Rapids boy, and we've had some people inquire about maybe having you in the event. Would you like to play?" And I'm like, "What?" So without having to qualify, like, that kind of thing. So that was an experience that's invaluable looking back on it. I remember I missed the cut by a lot, but, it was a learning experience. Fast forward to the next year, I get a phone call from Claire Peterson, and essentially the same thing. So, what's nice about what that tournament's about, they try to help their own. They try to help locals as best they can. It just seems like there's always a handful of players every year that, maybe household names aren't quite, that's not quite the cliche yet, but they're going to be. And that's the beauty of that tournament. And they get some studs too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of those PGA Tour players love going to the John Deere Classic because it's fun. I mean, the golf course is great. The hospitality is amazing. The community's in full force. I mean, we get great fans, and so they just want to keep coming back. So you get that as well. The date's always been a struggle. I mean, if we're going to get down to the brass tacks of it, but John Deere has embraced it, and they've made it better every single year. And so I applaud them. I mean, they want to help their community, and that's full embrace. And I'm grateful for that. I don't know what the future holds. The tour's evolving and changing, it seems, by the minute. But, this is a long-standing I'd say iconic event in our calendar, and it needs to stay, and it for all the right reasons. So again, I'm not privy to all that, and I don't need to be. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of tournaments on the PGA Tour, if they could witness it, should have a lot of John Deere aspirations, because it's impressive. And and then if I'm going to get down to it, selfishly, they're a partner of mine off the golf course. And I mean, when I'm talking about philanthropy and giving and stewardship, they're right there with me. And my own foundation and some other endeavors we've tackled together, I'm honored. I'm grateful. So I just so happen to love their core of what they do and how they do it. I may have a nice green piece of machinery in my barn here in South Georgia, and it's it's a part of Zach Johnson's golf.
I love it. Zach Johnson joining us on Off with Air with Matt Randazzo. Zach, you're 50 now. First off, happy belated birthday. I'm closer to 50 than 40, so I'm going to be joining you here soon.
Yes.
Playing on the Champions Tour, played great last weekend, or I think great because you top fived. I'm sure you can probably nitpick all those kind of things. How's your game right now? You'll be back playing at the John Deere Classic in 50 days. You stay in good shape, all of those kind of things. You don't look 50. I'm not just hissing up to you. You don't look 50. Your thoughts on how your game is right now as you get ready to get back to the Quad Cities in about 50 days?
My game feels great. I'm in a position, I'm in kind of a mode now where if my bits and pieces are operating, I feel like I can do some really good work, and knock on wood, but I'm feeling pretty darn good. I've got a great ensemble of individuals that I entrust to help me with that. This is probably sounds like a broken record, but I mean, I've said it over and over again. At this point in my career, if I can stay healthy, I still can play good golf. I mean, I think I'm better now than what I was last year. I know that sounds really strange, but I do. I feel like there's parts of my game that needed to be addressed, and they have been. So, I may not hit as many balls as I once did, 15, 25 years ago, give or take. I don't. However, I'm probably more efficient in what I do and how I do it, just because it requires it. A lot of other responsibilities, number one, but then I just physically can't do what I used to do. I mean, I was, especially when I was really young, like I was just out the course all day, and that's just not realistic. So I give every piece of I think of the golf pie its place, and they may have different percentages now, but the physical side is obviously at a premium, and I feel good. So yeah, I mean, I'm encouraged. John Deere week, that first week in July, at that point, it starts a whirlwind for me. I've got a long stretch there. I got to navigate that because there's a lot of tournaments in my world that are all majors. Whether you're talking on the PGA Tour Champions or on the the regular majors. I got, and John Deere's a major for me, so I've got to really, it's going to be hard to navigate that at 50. These are great problems, but I've got to figure it out. So. Excited. I mean, I'm really excited. Like I said, my body feels pretty good. I feel better now physically than I did a year ago, even probably 2 or 3 months ago. So, nicks and knacks, things that I got to address. But, at some point, I've just got to count my blessings, because I'm on call with orthopedics. I've just never had to go see one, under the light, if you will. So I'm encouraged.
Zach, I covered you here for over 20 plus years. I think I've been part of probably every interview session media wise you've done. We have our Zachisms where you can't, how many times you told me on a Thursday, well, you can't win a tournament on a Thursday, which was several times when you got after. There's things that we've heard from you. You've gotten here. You talk about the course, what you love about all that, and you come here to win, and play well and do well. That hasn't changed, has it? Like, what's your perspective as you get ready for this year's John Deere Classic when it comes to getting ready for the actual tournament itself? We talk about the concerts and the family affair and what it is community wise, but when we get to those rounds of golf, you're here to win a championship, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, come like Pro-Am Wednesday, you start to get kind of locked in, right? I mean, there's things going on before that are all fun and worthy of your energy and time. All good stuff. But I mean, once that Wednesday kind of comes around, I mean, it should be before that. Don't get me wrong, but it's almost like you flip two switches. You know, you have the Monday flip, and then Wednesday the afternoon it flips again for me. So that when Thursdays come, I'm ready. So I don't enter tournaments just to see how I'm doing, see how I'm playing. I don't, you know, I mean, I go there, I mean, to try to beat that course, you know, to a pulp every day and hopefully come out on top on Sunday, because that's the ultimate goal. I mean, the course is your ultimate challenge. It is your competitor. Obviously, there's a bunch of other individuals that are doing the same thing that are really good at this game, and that's the fun of it. It's almost like you have competition within a competition. But I go to John Deere. I go to the Classic to win. I mean, I've obviously done it before. It's been years. But I mean, again, I don't, why not? I mean, it's not worth my time unless I don't know if I'd play if I feel like I couldn't win. I mean, let's get down to it. There's probably, as a competitor, I don't know if it's the right approach. I mean, I think you got to go into a tournament to win. I mean, I'm 50. I mean, I think about just this past weekend. One of my good buddies, Brant Snedeker, won at 45 on the PGA Tour. I've had other peers of mine win, you know, in their upper 40s and even 50s. So I think Davis won at 51. Granted, we're talking about icons of the game, things of that nature, but I know the golf course. I know there's some subtle changes. And if I feel like I'm healthy enough to navigate 72 holes and I'm swinging good, I mean, it comes down to making putts. This past week in Houston on the Champions Tour, I hit it great, tee to green. I drove it great, hit a lot of greens, didn't putt very well. So that's part of it. Now I know what I need to work on. So, you know, I feel like I still got it in me. Again, I don't know what it's going to hold. I mean, I've got a pretty decent track record at TPC Deer Run, and hopefully I can just rely on those experiences and you know, get it going. You got to put the pedal down, especially when the weather's pretty benign there.
Pretty decent track record is probably underselling it, Zach. We had a pool in the WQA trailer, and I won him a lot because I always had Zach. I was grandfathered in because I had him when he started. So you've played well there. Yeah. It's been 14 years since you won there. I don't want to ask you what's different between Zach Johnson in 2012 and 2026. But you mentioned the course. You're playing the course. Has a lot changed about that place from 2012 to what you're going to experience in 2026?
No. And I mean, if it has, it's been, I would say, positive, you know, movements, nothing of any significance that is, you know, no, nothing's really changed dramatically. Fortunately, it doesn't need to. I mean, it's such a great property. It's got so much character. It's a hard course to walk, and I'm used to riding in a cart now, so I gotta get my legs underneath me. But no, I mean it's got everything. It's got long, short, left, right, up, down. It's got it all. And I would say the beauty of TPC Deer Run is probably the last 5 or 6 holes. That seems to be where the tournament is won or lost. You're talking about a drivable par 4 in there, a couple, you know, 2 really good par 4s that are strong, 15 and 18, and obviously a par 5 and a par 3. So a lot of drama always happens, you know. I mean, there's so, especially on 18, there's just been so many stories just written on 18. I mean, technically you've got one right behind your shoulder there. Young, I can't remember his name, but he beat me in the playoff.
I think
that
it was
year.
Spieth his first year. That's when he learned his name.
Yeah, something like that. Jason, maybe, I can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got lucky and bladed a sand trap shot in the hole on 18, and
he says it was going in.
3 majors.
He says it was going in regardless. Forget about the.
yeah. And you know, off he goes, and he's won a ton of tournaments, ton of majors, and that's what we see. That's what we see at Deer Run. It has everything. So yeah, I think we're going to see. I know we'll see it again. One of their phrases back in the day, magic happens here. It always does. And it's just a matter of how it's manifested. So they do a great job. The build out's great. Like you said, there's concerts now in 18. I don't know if they've announced the artist yet, but they're big time.
Yeah, no, they have. Carrie Underwood.
Okay, good.
Help me out. Is it Old Dominion?
Old Dominion, yeah, and Carrie
Underwood, yeah.
So, I mean, that's massive. And they do such a great job. But what you're talking about for the players, the fans, their clients, they showcase it. They bring the heat. And again, like that's what I said, it gets better and bigger every year, it seems like.
A couple more golf than a lot of Hawks. Do you have a favorite moment from the John Deere Classic? And you cannot say the final putt to win in 2012. I think that would be the obvious or maybe the easy one. Do you have a favorite moment, memory, shot from yourself or others? I mean, the guy that got lucky over my shoulder is a pretty darn good one. Strick and his three-peat. I don't know where you were when he was making crazy shots. Yourself or others. I love this stuff because I love the history of the John Deere Classic and I lived it and it was so much fun to cover. What is your favorite John Deere Classic moment?
I mean, Stricker, I think he won he's won at least 3, maybe 4.
Three in a row.
Three in a row. He won 3 in a row, so maybe I don't know if he's won a 4th or 5th.
I don't think just the 3 in a row.
Okay, but I remember his putt on the back of 18, just off the fringe, to win was incredible. There's been a few. I mean, there's a shot that stands out that I keep getting reminded about. It's hard not to remember, and I'm not saying it's a positive. We'll just say that. I don't remember what year it was, but I was on the 16th green, and a pipe bomb went off in my backstroke.
Yep.
Yeah, that one evidently is on YouTube because kids tell me about it all the time, and most of these kids weren't born then, so I don't remember when it was, but I can still feel that, if you will. And I was in contention. That kind of stunk. It was on Sunday. Not an excuse. I don't think I didn't win that year, but it is what it is. Fortunately, I gathered myself and was able to still compete, but whatever. It is what it is. I remember he's now one of my peers again. I remember Paul Guidos shooting 59 at John Deere. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous anywhere, but at that venue, I don't see it.
So, Zach, he shot a 59. And Strick shot a 60 that afternoon, and nobody talked about it because Guido shot, and Strick went ahead and won, I think, for the 3rd time that year. But that's how good Strick was back in the day. But Guidos, we were on 59 watch. I remember it well. Go ahead.
Yeah. You said it. I remember one year I'm paired with Strick the first 2 days. He's one of my dear friends, and we're teeing off 10 on Thursday. And I remember in my press conference, the tee times had come out and they're like, hey, you and Strick are playing together. And I assume I had won at that point. It was probably after 2012. Pretty confident it was. And, one of the questions somebody posed, we're talking about wedges and, how I hit my wedges. And, that's whether you're talking about Augusta or just my career in general, that's been kind of a staple in my arsenal as to how to, set myself apart. And I said, well, there's a few guys that I look up to. And I said, one of them's won 3 times in a row, and that was Steve Stricker. And I kind of got blank faces. Anyway, we get to 10, first hole of the tournament. And we both had to lay up in the fairway. And I hit a good wedge into 7-8 feet. I think it was the front left pin. And I turned to my caddy, Damon, and I'm like, this is what they were talking about, who hits a better wedge. And I'm like, he's probably going to make it. And he made it.
I remember that too. Gee, there's so many, Zach. The bunker shot on 18. I mean, your bunker. I'm obviously the
oh yeah.
I mean that bunker shot, and I get into the probably inside baseball of it or inside golf because we had Scott Weiss run up and he was the photographer, right? I mean, just the way we captured it, if you will, but an amazing shot as well. Big picture golf for me real fast, Zach, before we talk Hawks.
Sure.
Obviously the live is doing what's happening with that is happening. I don't know if we know what the ramifications or how that will end out or transition, if that makes any sense. Where do you think, and you mentioned it's changing all the time. You talk with, Andrew's been on our show talking about there's always changes. Change good, change bad. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Your thoughts just, I guess, on the sport as a whole as we sit here in 2026.
Yeah, man, there's a lot, like you said, a lot of change, a lot of evolution in the game, especially when in the last, 5-6 years or whatever, you introduce competition, things start to change, whether it's reactionary or whether it's, quick and reactionary, or whether it's actually fully changing the foundation of what you are. So, this may kind of come across PC, but, I still think the game's really good. Number one, we got a lot of really high talented, high caliber individuals, players. I think, the PGA Tour, going back to it, is ever evolving and changing, whether you're talking about the actual architecture of the tour, who's in it. Been a lot of people let go, trimming of the fat, if you will. I don't know if that's legitimate, but there's been a lot of individuals that have been let go, and new leadership, etc. So with all of that, I trust them, whether you're talking about my peers that are on the board, or our independent board directors, or the executives of the tour. Like, I have to trust them. That's kind of the way leadership works, and it's kind of the way you're supposed to go about it. I feel like they're in the best interest of everybody involved. Now, all that to say, yeah, I don't know what's down the road. I think as a fan of the game, I think the common sentiment, and I'm a part of that too, is you want the best players. You get playing against the best players more often. Sounds like this tour schedule is trying to get to that point, as far as showcasing more often the best players in high, big-time events. That's what we want, right? And outside of the majors. And the majors are obviously, you want these events to complement the majors. So now with LIV, who knows? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm shocked as to what's transpired, because I'm not. I didn't think it was very solid ground, but I'm not privy to all those discussions or all the data and all the facts. But that also sounds like LIV's not necessarily done either. They're trying to, they have the construct. They're trying to find monies from other entities now. It sounds like they've created a board, I'm told, to try to do so. So maybe they will stay around and be even stronger than they have been. I have no idea. But it also sounds like there's individuals that want to come back. Definitely not surprised by that either. I'm sure there's some that don't, and that's their own prerogative. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to transpire. There's always been a road back for guys. That's just, I think Lucas Glover said it best. He's like, what about these guys coming back? Do you think there's a road? Well, there's always been a road back. It just requires you to follow the protocols with which, we've had in place. And that's either suspension, fine, or both. That's what we have. There's consequences to decisions, It's kind of like what you tell your kids, right?
No.
If you do this is a possibility. If you do that, then, whatever. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know as a fan, I want the best playing against the best. I am definitely a loyalist to the PGA Tour, because I fully appreciate how and why it was constructed the way it was developed back in the day. It was, the motivation was to go to communities, showcase great golf, but also put together a platform that could raise monies for local organizations that needed help. I'm not sure of a sports entity that does it better than that. And obviously the John Deere Classic is the epitome of that. So, I hope they don't lose sight of that. Things are changing. Like I said, it's reactionary. Monies have absolutely mushroomed. You could argue that's good. You could argue that's bad. I don't know. There's a fine line between pursuing and working toward proper monies, and there's a fine line between that and greed. I don't know where we are. I'm not suggesting that we're on either one of those sides. I'm just saying, it's reactionary. So that's a slippery slope. But I do believe that the roots of the PGA Tour are so deep and so healthy that we can withstand competition. We can withstand essentially anything that comes our way. And I think we'll be better off in time. So I'm encouraged. I mean, granted, I'm not going to be playing a whole lot on the PGA Tour. I think PGA Tour Champions is healthy and trying to get better. I mean, obviously, I know the leadership there too, and we're trying to make it bigger and better. I'm more of a fly on the wall at this point. A lot of my peers out there have great visions and motivation. So hopefully we can make that tour better as well, because I think there's a place for it. I think there's definitely value in it, and it'd be nice if we could get one individual to play. We just turned 50 about 5-6 months ago, but he needs to get healthy. Hopefully he can get back out there and compete again too. So I don't know. I love the fact that I'm able to compete in my job. That is something I don't take for granted. And my outlet is a gift. The PGA Tour has been a gift. And I'm grateful for that, because, at 22 years old, leaving Drake University, you had told me I'd be sitting here talking to you, reminiscing about all this. I would have said, what planet are you on? Or, how much sweet corn have you ingested? Because you're on a high right now, because this is crazy.
No, it's been an amazing run. Zach, a quick couple questions from the chat, because everydayers love you. Hole 3. No, hold on. Let's do this one. What is it like walking off or walking at Augusta or British Open courses, Pebble Beach, etc.? Like when you talk about walking at Deer Run, and then you're walking at what are some of the favorite courses you're at when it comes to just being on that course, walking those courses?
Yeah, I mean, again, go back to being blessed. I mean, I've played some of the most amazing venues our sport has to offer.
Yeah.
And again, I that part I probably do take for granted sometimes. Full transparency. I mean, Augusta is amazing. Obviously it's hollow grounds. It's story filled grounds, and will continue to be. Hard walk, by the way. I mean, it was hard at whenever I was 26, 27 years old. When I first started playing there, it hasn't gotten any easier. It's probably gotten harder. John Deere's hard, and Augusta's hard. Those are two of the hardest walks in golf, I'm going to be honest. The open links golf, they're not that hard of walks because it's pretty flat, right? Pebbles, pretty flat. Like there's some hills there too, but it's nothing significant. But yeah, you kind of, I think if you can have the mental perspective of like, hey, it's just a walk in the park, and oftentimes the golf ball kind of gets in the way. That's usually when I play my best. So I'm grateful I've been able to tee it up at some amazing venues. And now I say that there's also a lot of individuals, whether I'm playing in pro-ams or just individuals I've rubbed shoulders with, are like, man, you haven't played there yet? I'm like, no. You haven't played there? I'm like, no. If I go somewhere, if I leave home, especially now, if my wife allows me to leave home now, I'm going to go play the venue that I'm going to go practice at and compete at. Like I'm not going to go 3 doors down and, play this top 50 golf course just because it's got a rating. That seems pretty futile to me. Nothing against those venues. I just haven't done it. So this year's U.S. Open course, Shinnecock Hills, is probably my favorite course. I mean, outside of the obvious that I've ever competed on. It is an amazing venue on Long Island. I've played 2 championships there. It's as if God dropped a course on land and just sat there. That's the way I kind of look at it. It is amazing. Great membership too. Too bad the USGA's messed it up a few times, but that being said, it's still one of my favorites.
No, absolutely. Zach, we've got to talk Hawks because I'm taking too much of your time already.
Come on.
You look at it, and I'm your era, I believe. Like, I love Iowa basketball. I grew up on it. I love it. And I was appreciative of Fran and the things that he did for the program and the times they had. But man, I didn't see this coming. I guess as a fan first, your thoughts of Ben McCollum. Obviously you're a Bulldog, so you knew more than I think what the rest of us knew about Ben McCollum. Be honest, did you know, I'm sure you liked the hire, but did you expect Sweet 16, Elite 8 this quickly?
No, but I mean, I'm a fan. Like, I mean, it was really bittersweet for me. If I'm going to be blunt. I mean, I remember talking to our AD Brian Harden at Drake, and he's like, "We got a pretty good one." Like, again, I'm not privy to everything, nor do I need to be. I'm just a fan, and I support both schools. And you could kind of tell, like, there's just his track record in Division II is obviously is where people go to first, and then you see what he did at 1 year at Drake, and you're like, wow, this doesn't look to be a fluke. This looks legitimate, and he's doing it the right way, right? The right culture building way. And so, no, I mean, I never saw it coming, but I mean, I'm not into the X's and O's. I mean, I can kind of see it with my, amateur eyeball, but it's fun basketball. It's different, and it's impressive, to say the least. It looks like the guys, it's just a little bit different. There's I'm also probably in the minority. I love Fran. One, how he supported me and what I did, and then two, I just thought his style was fun too. It was just different. So he's going to do well. He already has at Penn. So I think the university's been really lucky with the last two guys, and now Ben taking the reins, signing a new contract, I'm told, or extension, or I don't know. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Is special. So I give Beth Getz a lot of credit. Certainly give Brian Harden a lot of credit for finding Ben down in Northwest Missouri, and I also think Coach Henderson at Drake will do well. I mean, I'm not trying to be just nice. He's really good. He's proven, and he just needs a couple years to get his foundation in there too. But he'll do great. Good Iowa boy from Northeast Iowa. So, yeah, all that to say, I mean, the state of the game is healthy in that state, and certainly in Iowa City, they've got something going. I mean, he knows what he wants, and he's going to do it. I didn't think it'd be that short amount of time, but that run was fun, and they were, one half away from even better things. So, but as an Iowa fan, we'll take it.
No, I mean, the watching, what I loved too, Zach, was I'm watching my kids, and I almost liked their disappointment. This will sound weird. I almost loved the hearing about the disappointment. So I had to MC an event the night of the Iowa-Illinois game, which didn't go over well. We made it a game watch there, but my kids were watching it with their cousins and all that kind of stuff. And my oldest called me. He's not going to like listening to this story. My 11-year-old's not, but he's like, Dad, we couldn't find Chase after the game. And I was like, where's he at? And he goes, we found him under his bed in his room crying. And I smiled from ear to ear because Zach, that's you are becoming a diehard fan. Like that's the definition of the word. So I think what it's doing for the excitement of the fan base, when you're watching, and take me to the fan side of that, like where are you watching the Elite Eight? Where are you watching when they clinched to go to the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight? What was those experiences like for you? You had to be going crazy like I was.
Yeah. I mean, the Nebraska game, I was actually in the air from Tucson, Arizona to, where was I going? Southern California ish. Anyway, and the Wi-Fi is in and out, and I'm literally on pins and needles. Like, oh, this is the Florida game. Forgive me. This is the Florida game. Florida game.
Yeah.
So, this is and I'm like, I'm the realist, like, man, they're huge, all this. I'm just kind of, setting myself up for it. I see Chris DeMarco, who's a Florida Gator, and we land, and I get my phone on, and I'm on that YouTube TV, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and they won. And so it was like surreal. I was in shock, right? Yes. And obviously in how they won, but they overpowered them. They dominated physically, that's one of his, key parts of his brand. So that was great. The Nebraska game I got to see. The Illinois game I got to see the second half because I was competing. So unfortunately I didn't get to see the build-up of the first half. But
you jinxed it. Like maybe when you started watching, it went downhill. Yeah. So we'll blame you.
Sorry, Iowa fans. No. And I think about it like, your boy and crying to the bed. Like, how old is Chase?
11.
Okay. 1987, I'm 11, and I remember Iowa. I remember Kevin Gamble making the shot against Oklahoma to go to the Elite Eight, and then we get to the Elite Eight. We're playing UNLV. We're up 16 at half. I go outside to shoot hoops at halftime because I'm jacked.
Yeah.
And then we come in it was the same similar kind of second half, right? UNLV just came, but as a kid, that's what you remember. I mean, my childhood as an Iowa fan. I was born in Iowa City. You had Hayden Fry come in, essentially my first memories, right? You had Rose Bowls. You had Chuck Long almost winning the Heisman. You had all of this. And then you had, Lute Olson, followed by George Raveling bringing in all these studs and Tom Davis taking them to heights, that were amazing. So that was my childhood. Then I go off, just prior to high school, and I'm at the Iowa basketball camp, the Tom Davis basketball camp, I believe. Bruce Pearl and Gary Close are like my RAs or whatever you call them in the dorms. And, you're a fan. Like it was, you couldn't help it, whether it's talking about BJ Armstrong, that's who, he was my favorite player as a kid. And so that's the impression you have as a kid. That I was so lucky to have amazing, sports. Gosh, I remember in 87, they were number one in the nation. I think they won the first 16, 17, 18 games. I mean, then Ohio State came. But, I remember that. Like, I went part of my weekends, in the fall, obviously we're at Kinnick, and then Carver periodically, too. I was spoiled. So, amazing memories as a kid, and your kid's going to have them now, too, because now he's going to remember that. He's, and certainly you are, too. But, that's, as a competitor, that's what got me. And in my mind, as a kid, these Iowa athletes were like bigger than life. And now I'm twice their age, and I still feel like they're older and bigger than me. Yeah. That's weird, but it's just the truth. I've told Coach Ferentz that. Like, it's just strange. It's a strange dynamic. But, it's in my blood. I can't help it. My wife would say it's probably too consuming at times, but I can't help it. I love it.
One more basketball-wise. I mentioned TK's up in Chicago. Bennett Sturts is up there. Heck of a guy to have to replace. Transfers come in, but give me your basketball expert. Who are you most excited about when you have? And I think the retention is huge. I mean, I know transfer portal stuff and classes, and everybody gets excited, but retention is so important, and I think that's the biggest win for Iowa. Is there a guy or two that Zach Johnson's like, that's my guy moving forward in the next couple of years?
Well, I don't know if I can single out one. I mean, that's really difficult to do. But, I mean, I think of the youth of the game, the youth of that team that showed up, I mean, in big moments, right? I mean, whether it's Cooper Koch as a redshirt freshman or Tate Sage as a true freshman, you can go down the list. I mean, there's a lot of youth on that team still that can do a lot of great work. So you said it, retention's massive. I love how McCollum's trying to build the team, certainly at the high school level rather than the portal level, and use the portal to supplement. You have to. Big addition, obviously, pun intended, but giving a 7-foot-plus guy to come in is massive, and then getting an athletic guard to come in is fills a hole too. So I think they've got the pieces from my vantage, but those that they're retained that are still in that system are the ones that are continue to take it to new heights. That's the way I see it. I think they've got, and there's also, I mean, you're talking about a couple freshmen that could be really, really, really good. The kid from Washington looks like a stud. Yeah. I think he's a big time recruit, and obviously we had one on the bench all year. So, the kid from Tennessee, I forget his name, but I mean, one's 6'8", one's like 6'9". You're also talking about two guys that haven't played a second that I think could really do some great work for the team. So who knows? I mean, we might see his son out there. I mean, we have no idea. They build on talent. They develop talent. It's easy to be a fan. I mean, they seem like they're doing everything right, and they play hard. I mean, that's all you can ask for. So I'm encouraged.
The way you just described Iowa basketball leads me to football real fast, because that sounds like Kirk Ferentz. And we started this whole conversation with the John Deere Classic and doing things correctly and the community vibe and building and all those kind of things. And there's not much difference between what the John Deere Classic does and Iowa football does. man, Kirk's been here forever. And you
Sure.
talked about Hayden, and Hayden, I mean, I was the same way. When I grown up, it's Hayden Fry, and I remember being around when Kirk got the job and covering him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've done such a great job of adapting. I mean, college sports and football is crazy. And here you got Kirk Ferentz that's tweaking and adjusting and then still staying the same at the same time. Nothing changes with that program. Your thoughts? And I do think that like a college football playoff in the next 3 or 4 years is a definite possibility at the University of Iowa.
Without question. It wouldn't surprise me if it's this fall or the next or multiple. I mean, I just think they're so well positioned and so healthy inside and out. You never know. I'm not, schedule is obviously a big part of the Big Ten's brutal, but I mean, I feel like Iowa football is kind of the outlier. They go against the grain in a lot of respects. I mean, very low attrition, right? One of the lowest, if not the lowest, certainly in the Big Ten, but maybe nationwide.
Yeah.
To me, that says everything. When there's an open door policy now that it's the Wild Wild West, you can leave and go as you essentially please. And for the most part, our guys stay. That says everything. It says everything about the coaches. It says everything about the program, the kids on the team, obviously, but then it says everything about the community and the school. So, again, easy to be a fan. I mean, Coach Ferentz is the outlier too. I think you said it, Dazzo. Like, are you sure he's 70? Like, really?
It's crazy.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, the man still works out at least once a day himself. And he's still energized and wants to do it. I mean, he always says he has no hobbies. He certainly doesn't play golf, which I don't blame him. And so he wants to keep coaching. And if he has the freedom to do that at home, which is a big part of it, I think that's amazing. I think we're, as Iowa fans, we should feel extremely fortunate because they're healthy. Whether you're talking about lack of turnover of an attrition of players or coaches, things happen. I mean, obviously we lost a big one this past fall, and a guy I consider a good friend in LeVar Woods. But you know what? He wants to be a head coach sometime, and maybe this is the right move for him to go do that. He's a great coach, great individual, and an Iowan, so and a Hawkeye, and so you got to applaud that. But I just love how they go about doing it. I mean, they do it all the right way. Their kids want to be there. They play hard. And I think there's a lot of talent in there, a lot of youth too. I mean, there's only so many seniors this coming fall, which is daunting given the schedule. Obviously every year the schedule, but this year in particular. And even when you don't have a ton of, senior leadership, it could be hard, but they know what they're doing. They got juniors that'll lead. They got sophomores that can lead. So they'll figure it out. They're the ensemble of coaches there is some of the best, if not the best there is. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to say that.
This year's team, Zach, do you have a guy yet when it comes to quarterback? It sounds like it's 50-50, flip a coin. I think there's people that have favorites when it comes to who they might want to see. Are you a Hecklinski guy? Are you a Hank Brown fan? Do you not know yet? Your thoughts on that?
I'm a practical individual.
Yeah.
I try to use common sense in all
I
facets
can see that.
of my life. Try. That's the number one. Hank Brown was there last spring ball. Hecklinski was not. He didn't come in until I think June. So he's got 2 spring balls. Actually, I think Hank Brown came in around the bowl game.
He was in earlier. Yeah. Yep.
The previous one. So he's been there for quite some time. I think, you can compare. I mean, I know they're different individuals as far as the way they look and the way they play and all that. I have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me if both play at some point, whether you're talking an injury or whatever. I mean, it's just the nature of the sport. But I think if it's a problem, it's an amazing problem because they're going to keep pushing each other. I'm told they're good buddies too, which I think is probably a pretty significant positive. They can push each other in that regard. I don't know. I don't even know if it matters, but if they're both competent, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, we win games on the line of scrimmage. And so, our with Barnett now, obviously with an amazing foundation, losing guys to the draft the last 2 years, but still having studs there is huge. And I certainly trust Coach Bell and Parker with their defense. I mean, you can't not trust them. You know, I know there's youth and inexperience, but every time we've had that, they've shown up. So it may take a minute to get to that point, but I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged with that too. Like we win on the line of scrimmage, and that's, you know, if we can supplement with amazing skilled positions and, you know, and other athletes, then it can be pretty formidable. But we still have to win it. You know, Coach Ferentz says run the ball and stop the run.
Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. And that running back room is deep. Tony Diaz, from all accounts, is really, really good. I was up there for practice, and I loved what I saw from Reese Vanderzee. He looks bigger and the part and all those kind of things. So maybe this quarterback, and I think the vibe you get isn't like, oh no, who's going to be the quarterback? We don't have one. I really think they have two. I really think they have two guys that they like, and that's a big difference. You know, they always say if you have two quarterbacks, that means you don't have one. I don't think that's the case here. I think they feel like they have two guys and got to pick one as they go. Last one for you, football-wise. Do you get back to Kinnick? Do you get to enjoy it as a fan? Do you get to experience the craziness that is Kinnick Stadium? You talked about growing up there. Do you still get to get back to it?
Well, so my kids and my wife love going back for games. So we try to get back to at least one game. I've been to a few road games here and there, but that's been sparse as of late. I have no idea what this fall is going to hold. I do know that prior to being 50, I take a lot of the fall off. Kids go back to school. I want to be home for that. I don't play much, meaning like 1 or 2 weeks is all in the fall. And I want to watch football. Yeah. And most of the time I was watching Friday Night Lights because my kid played it, 8th grade through 12th grade. So high school football was a big part of my last 5 or 6 years. Sure. And now that's gone too, which is bittersweet. But anyway, all to say, I don't know if we can get back. I'm going to try. I have the schedule on my calendar, but it's the Champions Tour plays a lot of fall golf. It's like the bulk of our season. So that's different, but it's still a priority of mine. I'm a season ticket holder. I have been for years. I will continue to be. It's a way for me to support, and I love it. So the tickets go to great use, whether you're talking about family, my foundation, or friends. I mean, I that's a easy purchase for me to support, and I mean, Kinnick's the best. I've been to a lot of venues.
Yeah.
A lot. I've had some pretty amazing experiences, and I put Kinnick up against about anybody.
All right. Andrew's texting me, making fun of me already because I said that the seniors tour instead of the champions tour. So I have to ask a question that he hates, and he's hating that I'm going to ask this. And I asked it to a lot of people here in the Quad City since I started this show. So you got to pick one. Are you ready? Claire Peterson or Andrew Lehman?
Yes.
You can't do that. You can't. Claire gave you.
Yes, this. I can.
Claire gave you.
I can't. On. It's like saying, hey, which kid do you love the most, or which
Chase.
Myra.
I just told you, Chase.
All the time is, Masters or the Open, and I'm like, I can't. It's like trying to pick your favorite kid. It depends on the week, maybe, but hey, you know what? Speaking of being lucky, you're talking about Hayden Fry and Coach Ferentz. I mean, the Classic's been very, very fortunate. I thought. Kim Huffman did a great job, but Claire took it to heights that most people probably thought never could get to, and now Andrew's taking those reins and doing an amazing job. So come on, like that's I can't. Now Andrew is a Hawkeye fan, Claire's not, but that's okay. Claire's my buddy, and I can't answer
we'll
that
let you off
the way
the
you
hook.
want me to answer.
No, we'll let you off the hook.
No, I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
And I don't want Andrew to hear all this nice stuff, but you're right. Like, he got such a great thing from Claire Peterson, and I'm not saying it was just Claire. Obviously, everybody's doing a huge, but like a lot of people would just be like, okay, I got to maintain this thing. You know what I mean? I got to just make, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm going to bring these concerts. Not him, but like, we're going to do these concerts. And I'm like, I mean, he took something that he could easily just try to maintain. And I love that about people. He made it even better. And I think that's a cool thing. Okay, Andrew, you can start listening again. I don't want him hearing, him, his head gets all big. Hey, my friend, I appreciate you taking the time doing this. I love Iowa athletics. When you come back this fall, if you want, swing by the radio booth and we'll do a little, you can be on the pregame show. Not that you can be on. Like, listen to me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, you can
Yeah,
be
yeah,
on
yeah.
the pregame show. Like, we would be
yeah.
honored
I
for
listen
you
to it.
to
I
swing
listen to
by.
you.
We'd love it for you to swing by if you're up and about there. Best of luck. We'll see you in 50 days. Can't wait to see you soon, buddy.
Look forward to it. Yeah, Dazzo, thanks for having me, my man.
All right, love it. That is Zach Johnson, the John Deere Classic legend, and it is what it is. Him, Strick, you name it. Jordan Spieth, they're legends here in the Quad Cities, and still a really good golfer, doing great on the Champions Tour. And he's going to do well at the John Deere Classic coming up here in 50 days from right now. And hopefully Andrew quits texting me and bothering me and give me a hard time during this high quality show that we're doing right here. We got more to get to here on OTA. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk to brand new Moline Girls basketball coach and former Alleman Boys basketball coach, Scott Morel. He'll join us right after the break. You're watching OTA on a busy Tuesday right here in the Quad Cities. We will be right back. For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
All right, Crawford guys, we need to come up with a new ad campaign. Let's hear what you got.
Oh, let's make a new TV commercial. No, we need a viral video.
I think my face would look good on a billboard. Come on, what?
Right. We need your head to be bigger.
For heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, count on the experts at Crawford Company.
Like me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Ugh, you've got to be kidding.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Yesterday, we chatted with the new boys basketball coach at Alleman High School. Today, we needed to talk to the old head coach at Alleman High School and now the new girls coach at Moline. And also, he will admit, coached me in 8th grade. And it's to this day, Scotty, I'm still the best shooter you've ever coached, right? Please forget about Weiss Camp and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, you're the best shooter that I've ever coached.
The check is in the mail. The check is in the mail.
Thank you.
Hey, if Moline hears that, they might rethink their decision. If they think your basketball is that highly of me. So, first and foremost, my friend, congratulations. Word news officially coming out last night. The new girls basketball coach at Moline High School. We'll start there and kind of wrap this thing. Moline girls basketball, what is it about that position, and how excited are you to be with the Maroons and coaching the girls once again?
I'm really excited about the position at Moline. They do a really good job. Last year they were regional champs. They returned 4 of the 5 starters, and that's exciting. The possibility, it's a great opportunity. For me coming back to the girls side, I was kind of drawn to that side, drawn to it, because most of my coaching career has been on the girls side. With Blackhawk and Muscatine, Louisa Muscatine, and back to Blackhawk. So, and that now I'm kind of returning back to that. I guess what my sister said was my specialty is kind of coaching the girls.
Absolutely. Scott Morel joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. A decision for you. I know a bittersweet decision. Kind of take me through the process if you can, or what you want to tell us. But obviously, you were at your alma mater. You have a deep heart and a deep love for Alabama High School. Talk about the decision, and I'm sure it was a bittersweet one as well.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. That weekend, to go through it all, I was going back and forth, losing sleep. And then, on the Monday, I had to decide, and, I finally did it. Called up Mr. Vanetta to let him know, and then called up Todd Thompson to let him know that I was taking the position. Even now you can tell it still tugs at my heart. Again, leaving my alma mater and leaving the kids, that's the hardest thing. After it was all announced, they reached out to me, and that was hey, happy for you, coach. We'll miss you, love you. And, we talk about coaching is about, it's not just sometimes about the X's and O's, it's about the relationships that you gain. And I gained a lot of relationships at Allman, and I'm looking to do so here at Moline too.
Scotty, we talked with Pat Frankel yesterday, so I guess we're going full circle here on the show. And Pat talked about, like, if I said 8 days ago you were coaching at Alabama High School again, he said it would have been crazy. I want to ask you the same question. If we talked a week and a half ago, and I said, hey, this is what's going on, what would you have thought of? Because it is later in the game, and also I don't think you weren't scouring the earth looking for a new opportunity. Kind of talk about that as well, because I know life happens quick sometimes. I think this is a perfect example of just that.
Yeah. A week and a half ago now, no, I wouldn't have, I was still working to get everything ready for summer, get ready for summer camp at Allman, putting together the schedule. We were all set for that. I was, continue to do workouts, and then I just kind of saw this, this opportunity of the girls basketball coach, and that kind of drew to me. Being, most of my coaching career was with the girls side, with, like I said before, with starting off in, Muscatine and Blackhawk, and then Louisa Muscatine, and then back to Blackhawk, and then then had the Allman boys job, and then going back to the girls side of the basketball team. So
yeah, Scotty, you look at it too, and it's a Moline basketball program that's got so much storied history. Kind of talk about that as well, because you're a Western Big Six guy. You went out. You've been around it forever. It's not just any program. Moline basketball and Moline girls basketball has such a storied tradition. Can you talk about that and the tradition that you guys have, and what you're kind of walking into over at Moline?
I mean, you're walking into it's known like Wharton Fieldhouse. I mean, that's crazy about how I'm going to be practicing in there. We're going to have games in there. I think back in the day of the Hallstroms, when they had their runs, and I want to bring, that back. The huge tradition of just being one of the best in the state girls team. And they don't get me wrong, Caitlin's done a great job. I mean, heck, they came back and won a regional championship last year, 25-8. Talking about big shoes to fill. Oh my goodness. And I just hope to keep that momentum going to this year.
For Moline fans that don't know enough about Scott Morel, what can girls basketball at Moline look like? What will it look like? We know I'm close with the Element program. I know what Scott Morel basketball looks like. What can Moline fans expect from their team this year and in the future? Maybe not just little X's and O's, but also just program wise and culture wise as well.
As a program wise, we're never going to give up. It doesn't matter if we're down by 20, if we're, up by 4, we're going to go full go. We're going to play our hearts out. We're going to love each other, just as teammates, and be happy for each other as teammates. And, and going out there, it's going to be fun. And I like to smile. I like to laugh. And it's we're still playing the game, and it'll be a lot of fun for people to watch. I love to get up and down the court. We're a little bit fast paced, a man-to-man defensive guy, but we will switch up between zones. And so no matter what, they're going to see like a team that will give it their all. They will work hard. They will just be resilient. And I think that really speaks volumes about what we had at Allman. Is they were so resilient. I mean, there was times like we were down, I think, like 20 to UT, and we brought it all the way back to a 4-point game just because of the fact of the matter, it was the will, and they were so resilient, and that's the biggest thing I want to bring to Moline girls basketball.
Scott Morel joining us enough there with Matt Randazzo. Scotty, you look at the Western Big Six, and we did the banquets for so long on the guys' side, and it's I mean, you pick your poison. There's so many great coaches in the Western Big Six. Now you flip to the other side of it. Scotty, pick your poison when it comes to coaches in the Western Big Six on the girls' side as well. I mean, everyone does such a good job with their program, and you know that as well. Maybe besides Henry Hall and Scott Hardison, they're not very good coaches, but we'll let that go for right now. No, I'm kidding. Talk about the coaches fraternity that you continue to coach in, because you go from one fire pit maybe to the other fire pit, because it's just a league full of really good coaches that know how to teach the game.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, like, going into it, you look at, the record last year, it's basically because they were beating up each other in the Western Mix 6. I mean, again, you got Sterling out there is, really good, and Geneseo and Rocky and, Henry and Scott do a great job out there. And Quincy's a young team, and they got one of the, best players in the state, probably in the nation. And they just continue to grow, and the girls basketball continues to grow in popularity, and it's always fun to watch that. And the Western Big Six has always been one of the better conferences in the state.
Scotty, we talked about, and you mentioned your roots with the girls and girls basketball. What's the biggest difference? Is there a big difference? I know basketball is basketball, X's and O's wise. I know there's a difference maybe when it comes to teenage boys and teenage girls, and we don't need to get into that. That's not what I'm asking. But basketball wise, X's and O's wise, what is there big differences between what you coached the last 3 years at Alleman High School and what you'll be coaching this year at Moline?
No, I don't think there is. I mean, like you said, basketball is basketball. Kids are kids, I truly get upset when there's a comparison of guys versus girls. There's different things that people say. I'm like, no, this is called, some of my kids even now, like when I'm doing sports forums, they're like, well, can we do girl push-ups? I'm like, what's a girl push-up? We can do modified push-ups. And I really think that I'm a big proponent of making sure that this brand of basketball is elevated. And, I just don't see a difference in that.
Oh, it's great points. I've always told people, because obviously the Caitlin Clark and the booming of girls basketball, I've always said, like, and you've been in the game for a while, I've always said, like, they've like everything, the talent's probably gotten a little better. You can do that with the guys basketball or football or any sport. Like, as we evolve, like, we continue to get better at things. But I would always say to people, like, girls basketball has been girls basketball. It's been a great product for forever. It's just now more eyes are on it because of maybe the Caitlin Clarks or the college basketball boom and all those kind of things. Your thoughts on that? Because I think it's been good for a while, and now people are just more paying attention to what they do. Your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. And the funny thing is like years ago when I first started the Illinois Iowa shootout for the girls, up at Blackhawk, we would have Assumption versus Moline back-to-back years when they were in their heyday, with Assumption going to state with those great teams and Moline having their great teams, and just at Blackhawk, and that place was filled. I mean, it was just against the wall, and it was so much fun to watch. And then all of a sudden there was a little bit of a lull, but now it's all of a sudden starting to pick up. Yeah, because of Caitlin and the Iowa girls hockey team. They've done a great job of promoting their brand and Caitlin. And the funny thing is like the other person I look at right now is Mackenzie Meyer, or AKA Mackenzie Wieskamp.
Yeah.
Just watching her, on your show shooting against Joe. Yeah. That was so much fun, and that just kind of creates momentum for girls basketball, and that's awesome.
Scotty, I was gonna bring up Joe in the interview. Obviously, you beat me to it, but and you mentioned relationships, and you've coached and you've done the training and all those kind of things, skill development, all those kind of things as well. I think it's well documented. And if anybody doesn't know, Scotty's Weezy's guy. They've spent many hours in the gym, and all those kind of things as well. And you talk about relationships. That's what it's about. When you have someone like a Joe Wieskamp, and there's others. I mean, you could probably give me a laundry list of players that you've got relationships with, and all those kind of things. What is it about Joe that made him special? Maybe on and off the court. I know his work ethic was awesome. I've got to know him very well as well. Now you get to see him as a dad and still playing professional basketball at a high level and making good money doing the thing he loves. What is it about Joe that makes him different, makes him special?
When we were working out, when we first started working out, the biggest thing was, like, for me, was trying to protect him. Like, we didn't want to do anything wrong. But the other biggest key with him, I was letting him be him, letting him be a kid. I mean, it's really, really hard to have all eyes on you, basically, in a fishbowl. And we just started talking and just, this is what we're going to do. And just sharing things and being there for each other through hardships, being there for each other through, births of babies. He's got JJ and Olivia now, and just every day, we will talk. We used to talk just like, okay, we got this. And then there was I believe his sophomore year at Iowa, a little bit of a lull. But every day I would sit there and text him like, you've got this. And, that was a special thing. And we would just continue to talk, and we talk at least once or twice a month. We'll call each other. The relationship with him is really, really special to me, just because he's so humble. He's very humble, and he's just a great kid. And that's the thing. He's just still a kid to me.
I was just going to say, Scotty, I don't want to age you, but that kid's got kids of his own now. Joe Wieskamp, really good basketball player, better dad. Kind of talk about that side of it as well, because I got to see a little bit of it when he was on the show. That's the cool thing as well. Really good. I mean, amazing basketball player. You love watching him as a dad, don't you?
Oh, I love it. Love it. I mean, it's so awesome. Not being over there in Germany, just seeing the time he gets with the kids after the game, seeing JJ run up to him after the game in his Wieskamp jersey, and just Joe's smile and just light up. Talked to him yesterday, and he was flying back home. I could hear a little Olivia. She's getting a little grumpy, and he's just talking to her and just being amazing. And I hear little JJ goes, "Can I cuddle with her?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can cuddle with her, buddy." And he had some really great role models in Steve and Dana. But I mean, I've always said that Joe is a really, really good basketball player, but he's a better person. And now see him as dad. Oh my, I couldn't be more proud.
Absolutely. Scott Morel joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, new Moline Girls basketball coach. A couple more before I let you get out of here. I know that you're not like me. You have real jobs. I just hang out in my loft all day. You look at Moline, moving forward. You mentioned, and Pat mentioned at Alleman, he's putting things together. He's got a staff to put together, all those kind of things as well. What's next for you at Moline? Because I'm assuming the same things. Staff's got to come together. Schedule's got to come together. What does it look like for the Maroons, the next month and a half? Because as we know, June can be busy.
Right. Starting to put my staff together. The first thing is I get to meet the girls today. So that's exciting for me. And then putting the staff together and then kind of go over our calendar. Looking like in June, we're going to have 2 weeks of camp. Then we're going to work on some individual training and then also some team training. Then we're going to play in Galesburg for their summer league. And talk to Logan Fry at Blackhawk to play in their shootout. So that's on tap for us, and it's going to be a whirlwind, just like it was at Allman when I was first hired. So, but the one thing is, like, as much of the whirlwind it is, tomorrow I'm leaving for Niagara Falls, and so. Niagara Falls, then we're going to go to Cooperstown. So I get a little bit of a vacation, a little time to step away to clear my mind and just kind of take a breath.
That's probably the best. I'm thrilled to hear that as your friend. I'm thrilled to hear that as well, because you need that side of life as well. What's the message to the girls later today from Scott Morel? What's the main message you want to give them?
And my main message is that we're going to work hard and we're going to be fundamentally sound. But we're going to be fun to watch.
The girls are going to love it. If you have a message to the Alleman kids, the Alleman community, the parents, what would that message be? You can't call all of them. You can't text all of them. You can't. So allow Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, because I have a feeling a few might be watching today. What's the message you'd have to the Alleman family, the Alleman team, the boys as well?
Yesterday you had Pat kind of tear up, and I'm like, I gotta hold this together. This is probably gonna hit me a little bit harder. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be the coach at Allman, to Mark and Jane and Jerry. I do appreciate everything you've done for me. To the supporters, I've met some great people. Continue to support these kids, because they're a special group of kids. To the players, I will always love you, no matter what. I will always be here for you. And if you ever need anything, you can give me a call. And to my staff, which was a great staff, thank you so much. To spend time away from your family, and I greatly appreciate that. And to these young men, please remember, you have brought excitement back to Allman basketball, and nobody can ever take that away from you.
I love it. Well said, Scotty. You first and foremost, you owe me a lunch date. So when you get back from your fancy trips to Niagara Falls and Cooperstown and everything else, I'm holding you to that. I don't care if I'm actually probably closer to Muscatine than I am to anything in the Quad Cities. So we need to hook up and make that happen as well. And then I think you took the job, and be honest, did you take the job on the girls' side of things because I don't MC that banquet? Were you scared? I mean, were you trying to get a better MC to the girls' banquet because I only do the boys' banquet?
I honestly thought you did do the girls' banquet.
I back in the day, I did a few times. They turned it over to Celia and then Camille. I don't know who does it yet.
Oh.
I want that one badly because I would love to Hardison and Hall and now you. I mean, the jokes
now
write
you got
themselves. No, but I don't even have to do anything. Like hold on. I just thought of another one. No. So, but I do okay on the boys side as well. So, again, I appreciate you. Thanks for doing this. I know this wasn't an easy interview to do and all those kind of things, but I'm genuinely very excited about your future and I'm excited about Alden's future as well. And you're a big reason for that as well. So, thank you, my friend. Tell Joe I said hi. I got to get him on the show. I get him on the show again here real soon. So we'll do that as well. But thank you, my friend. Always appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That is Scott Morel, the new girls basketball coach at Moline High School. And it's going to be some really good coaching matchups and matchups in general, as always, in the wintertime in the Western Big Six for the ladies as well. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA right here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Tuesday, May 12th. Thank you guys for joining us, however you are taking part in the show. YouTube, X, podcasting platforms, streaming apps, however it is. Thank you guys for doing it. We appreciate it. It's been a good week on the show here already, and we're just getting warmed up on a Tuesday. A couple things I wanted to bring up and talk about today before we take one more last commercial break and get out of here for the day. It's been a fun day, and we'll kind of recap it here in a second. But we talked about it with Zach Johnson at the start of the show a little bit, and during his interview. There is an extended head basketball coach at the University of Iowa. It was always talked about when North Carolina came a calling right after the season. He said thanks but no thanks, but it was pretty much implied that he was going to get a contract extension and reported, I believe, at Iowa, and that's what happened yesterday. It takes probably a little while to put all these things together, but officially done. Ben McCollum had his contract extended through 2032, which is important. Along with it, reportedly, guarantees of financial money when it comes to NIL. That's always important. Obviously a pay raise for Ben McCollum himself. But and we talked about it last night on the Hawkeye Report podcast. I'd check it out after you're done watching this show today. Tom Kakert and myself, a couple different things. You've seen extensions in the past. And a lot of times it's like, hey, they had a good season. They won a game in the NCAA tournament. And I'm not talking just at Iowa, anywhere. And other teams might be interested. So let's make sure we get him locked up, give him an extension. This was the most earned extension I think I can think of in a long time. I mean, to come to the University of Iowa and in their very first season, break a 27-year drought to the Sweet 16, break a long drought to the Elite Eight, and have the excitement back to what it's at. This is so deserved. But I believe it's just more so about the great connection there is between the administration at the University of Iowa, Beth Gatz and company, and what Ben McCollum and his staff wants to do. Everybody's all on the same page on where this is going, what they need, what they're going to need in the future, all of those kind of things. So a big deal, obviously, to do that. Obviously, nowadays, I don't think extensions are such a big deal when it comes to recruiting and players and all those kind of things. We used to talk about, Kirk Ferentz, he's getting older. I bet you coaches use that against him. Well, it's not a big deal anymore, because if Kirk Ferentz is there when you get there, or Ben McCollum in this case, that's awesome. If they leave, it used to be like they might leave while I'm gone, excuse me, and then I'd be in trouble. They're going to be there. And if they're not, you can go too, because of the transfer portal and everything like that. So a big news at Iowa. Great to get done. Awesome to see get done. And Ben McCollum, as we talked about with Zach Johnson and others in the past, is doing a fantastic job at the University of Iowa. And we're hoping to track down Tate Sage sometime this week as well. That is the hope here on OTA. So congratulations again to Ben McCollum and the contract extension. Also, the NBA Draft Combine going on as we speak. Tom Kakert, our good friend, heading to the Combine right now. We're going to try to catch up with him maybe this week, later on this week as well. It's been a couple weeks